Hello everyone, Charlene here. Today's video is all about giving thanks. Our project is going to be using the new Fall Favors box dies from Concord and 9th. These dies are wonderful for creating favor boxes or decoration. You can create a pumpkin, an apple, an acorn, and a little planter. Lots of different options with these dies. Additionally, I'm going to be using this add-on, which is the Fall Favors Extra Dies. This makes the whole process a lot faster. You'll see during the video. I'll also be using the Fall Favors stamp set, which has these fun textures that you can stamp onto your project, as well as these lovely sentiments. Let's get started. The favor dies include one top panel die and one bottom panel die. And then the extra dies include 2 extra bottom panel dies and 2 extra top panel dies. I'll start here with a half sheet of wheat cardstock, and I'm going to fit as many of the dies onto the cardstock as I can. Then I'll cut them out with my die cutting machine. I was able to cut 3 bottom panels and 2 top panels, so I will repeat that now with another half sheet of wheat cardstock. I have 6 bottom panels and 4 top panels. I just need 2 additional top panels so that we have 6 of each. I've kept one of the negatives and I'm going to use it to help stamp the fun design that we're going to have on our final acorn. So I'll take one of our top panels and I will nestle it into the negative. I'll be using the detail stamp here from the Fall Favors stamp set. I'll line this up so that it goes right over the top of the die cut. Then I can lift the stamp with the door of my stamping platform, and I'll bring in some nutmeg ink. This is going to show up as a nice dark brown over our wheat cardstock. I'll ink up my stamp, making sure to get it all covered, then flip and press. Let's go ahead and lift it up and do a second stamping here to build up that color. Go ahead and flip and press and lift, and that looks great. I'll pop out the completed piece and set it aside to dry, and then just pop in my next top panel. I'll go through and repeat this for all 6 of the top panels. I've stamped all of my top panels and realized I have a few more things to die cut. This is the bottom base die, and I'm cutting it out of some wheat cardstock. I'll be cutting the top base die here from nutmeg, as well as the stem die. The nutmeg cardstock is a little bit of a darker brown, and it will look really nice with the wheat to make our acorn come to life. Now that I have everything cut out, I'm going to fold all of the score lines on the top panels and the bottom panels. There are 2 different sets of score lines. There are some that go across the main front of the panel, and then there are some that fold along the sides of the panels. So I'll do this for all 6 of the bottom panels, as well as all 6 of the top panels. Then I will fold all of the score lines on the stem piece. There are some score lines around the bottom of the stem piece, but you don't need to fold those yet. I'll take my bottom base and I'm going to place all 6 of my bottom layers so that they go around the base, all facing the same direction. Then on each of the panels, I'm going to add glue along the bottom small tab, and I'll take the bottom layer and I'll put it on top, lining it up right along the score line. I'll continue to work my way all the way around the base of the acorn, adhering each of the 6 panels, making sure that they are right next to each other. When you're finished, this is what your piece will look like. Then you want to add glue to the 3 sets of tabs that are coming off of one of the bottom panels. This is going to attach to the bottom panel that's right next to it. Once one set is adhered, you move on to the next set, again adding glue to the tabs and adhering the next layer onto those tabs. You also could use double-sided tape to do this, but I think it's a little easier to use liquid glue because then you have a little bit of wiggle time to make sure everything is lined up nice and straight. I've made it to the last panel and I'm making sure that the tabs are tucked in on both sides. That way I can still easily add glue to the next set of tabs. Here is the finished piece. I'll set this aside now and let it dry. Next I'll move on to creating the top of my acorn. This comes together in pretty much the same way. So I have all of my top layers laid out and I'm adding glue along the small tab that's at the end of each layer and then taking my top piece and lining it up along the score line. Before I move on to putting my layers together, I'm going to add my stem. So first I will add some glue here along the small tab that's at the end of the piece. Then I'll adhere the next flap over the top of that small piece that has the glue on it. I'll hold this in place while it dries, and this is going to give us a square stem. Then I'll pop my stem through the top layer of my acorn just down far enough that the score line rests right along the top of the acorn. Then I'll flip my piece over, add some glue to the outside edges of the stem, and then I can fold those pieces down along that score line and hold them all in place while they dry, so that way they adhere to the inside top of the acorn. Now that my stem is in place, I can adhere all of the top layers together. Just like we did with the bottom layers, you add glue to those 3 small tabs that are sticking off the edge and then line up your next panel and adhere them together. Once you've glued them all together, you have this lovely top for your acorn. It's so cute and it fits perfectly over the bottom part of the acorn, creating this adorable container that you can use for treats, a gift card, or even for decoration on your mantle. Included in the fall favor dies is this fun tag die. You can cut out just the tag. You also have this inset piece that you could use to cut out a piece and do a layered tag. For this first acorn, I'm going to stamp one of the fun sentiments here. I'm using the Happy Fall stamp. I'm using clementine ink, which is a beautiful orange for fall. I think it goes really well with the browns of the acorn and the green leaf that I'll have when I'm finished. So I'll stamp this out and lift it up, and I'll do a second stamping to help build up the color and make sure I have good coverage on my sentiment. I'll tape the tag die in place with some low tack tape. I'll cut this out with my die cutting machine, and I'm also going to cut this leaf die from a piece of pistachio cardstock, which is a really beautiful muted green. Here's the die cut leaf. There's lots of different ways you could put this onto your acorn. I'm going to add some glue to the back of the top portion of the stem and line it up right along the stem of our acorn. I just have to hold it in place for a moment while that glue dries. You could leave your leaf like this, or if you want it to go down the side of your acorn, all you need to do is flip it over and add a little bit of glue to parts of the leaf and then hold those down on the top of your acorn so that it dries. To finish things off, I have some pretty white and gold twine here. I'm going to fold this in half, and then I'm going to take the center and bring it through the back of my tag. Then I just need to open the little loop area and pull those 2 tails through and then pull it tight. This is going to make it so that our tag lays flat and doesn't twist and turn on our finished acorn. I'm going to tie this in a cute little bow going around the stem. Once my bow is tied, I'm going to add glue underneath the knot of the bow, and then I'll hold this in place until it dries. This will make sure that our bow and our lovely tag don't come off of our acorn. So here is the finished super cute acorn. I absolutely love this. It is adorable. I'm also going to create a pumpkin. So I've cut 6 of the bottom layer and 6 of the top layer in clementine cardstock. This I will assemble in the exact same way as the acorn, so I'll start by folding all of the score lines on all my pieces. I'm cutting my stem for the pumpkin from nutmeg cardstock, and I'm cutting a leaf die here from some avocado cardstock, as well as this strip. This is going to make a little curlicue on the top of our pumpkin. I'll cut my 2 bases as well, also from Clementine cardstock. I'll repeat the process to put together my pumpkin, gluing the panels around the base, adding glue to the bottom flap of each piece and lining it up on the score line. Once all the pieces are glued together, then I'll go around and add glue to the tabs and adhere each of the panels together. Here is the bottom of our pumpkin all put together. Now I can repeat the process here with the top panels. I have my stem here that's already folded. Now I just need to add glue along the last tab and fold over the next tab. Once it's adhered, it can go through the center of the top of the pumpkin just down to the score line. Again, adding a little bit of glue to the outside of each of those tabs and then folding them over onto the top of the pumpkin so that our stem stays in place. Now I can repeat the process of putting together each of the top layers. Once they're all adhered, I can come in and decorate the top of the pumpkin. I have our cute leaf and I'm actually going to fold it. I'm going to crease it just a little bit along the center so that way it'll stand up and look really cute on our pumpkin. To have that stay in place, I'll again add a small amount of glue next to the stem and then hold it with my finger as it dries onto the stem. This piece is going to create that curlicue that I mentioned. So all you need to do to create that is to wrap the piece of cardstock around something that's circular. You could use a pen or a die pick like I'm using here. After you've held it for a moment, go ahead and pull it off and you can see it creates this cute little curlicue. You could add 1, 2, or 3 and it would look adorable. So this will fit right over the base that I created and now I have this fun little pumpkin. I'm using a piece of black and white twine for my sentiment and I'm looping this through my leaf to help hold it in place. I've die cut out that cute little tag that says "For You," and I'm gonna let my tails hang down just a little bit and tie this off around the stem. I think that's a cute little added detail. You also can create an apple with this set, so I've cut out all of the main pieces with poppy cardstock, and then for my leaf, a different one, I'm using sprout cardstock and then nutmeg again for the stem. So here you can see it all put together. I put a cute little tag that says "Thank you." There's also this stamp that says "Best Teacher Ever." This would make a perfect gift for any teacher in your life. Now I'm going to show you the last thing that we can make with these dies. I've cut out 6 of the base panels as well as the bottom base in pink lemonade cardstock. Now I have this large piece. I know it looks kind of strange. You'll see what it does a little bit later. And I'm going to cut 8 of these small dies as well as that large piece from a piece of nutmeg cardstock. Next, I'll cut 4 of each of these leaf pieces from pistachio cardstock. Now I'm grabbing that succulent detail stamp and I'm putting it onto a stamping block. You could use your stamp positioner to do this, but I thought it would be easier just to grab my grasshopper ink up my stamp, and add this fun detail onto all of my succulent leaves. So I'll just press that down and carefully lift it off. Then I can add more ink and finish off all of these leaves. Once the leaves are finished, I'll set them aside to dry and put together my pink lemonade base in the exact same way I did for my other pieces. Now you can see what that piece of nutmeg cardstock is going to do. So I'll start here by folding up on all of the score lines along the sides of the large piece. It's going to create something that looks like a tray. It's eventually going to sit inside the cute little planter that we've created. First, I'm going to take these small nutmeg pieces that I cut out. These are going to hide and help support the base of our succulent leaves. So I'm going to slide each of the leaves inside of the nutmeg piece and then fold the tab over along the score line. To create extra dimension, I'm using the same grasshopper ink and I'm pulling it along the sides of each of the leaves using a blending brush. This gives a nice added bit of texture to the finished succulent leaves. I'll do that to all of the leaves, and then when I'm done, I'll add glue to each of the bases. So I'll start by adding a small amount of glue under the tab, and then I'll add glue all over. All I need to do is place this straight up and down and hold it where I'd like it on the tray that I created. You could stamp all of the backs of your succulent leaves if you want them to have that same lovely pattern and texture. Once everything's adhered, I'm going to pop it down into the planter. Now it's up to you if you want to glue the tray inside of the planter or if you want it to be removable. I think it's fun to be removable because you can put a little treat inside underneath for your recipient. I stamped and die cut this cute little punny sentiment, and then separately from a piece of sweet pea cardstock, I'm gonna cut the 2 tag dies. I've used some low tack tape to hold them in place. This will give me a small pink frame of the sweet pea that I can add glue to the back of and adhere over the top of my die cut sentiment. For a fun detail, I added black and white twine going all the way around the top of the planter. So here's the cute finished planter. You also could always stamp things on your panels or use pattern paper or even ink blend. That will give you so many different looks with this set. Let's take a look back at everything we created. We created this adorable apple, as well as our cute pumpkin, and last but not least, our cute little acorn. This is such a fun and versatile set from Concord 9th. These pieces would be great for Thanksgiving as a centerpiece on your table or to use as a place setting for each of your guests. You could drop these off as a thank you or happy fall gift, or even to your kiddo's teacher. And remember, you can change your colors for any time of the year. Thanks everyone. I hope you picked up some tips and tricks today. Please be sure to like and subscribe so that way you'll know about future videos here on the Scrapbook and Cards Today YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.